I'm 13 WMAZ meteorologist Alex Forbes. We just got the 11 a.m. advisory here Tuesday afternoon for Hurricane Ian, Category 3, winds of 115 miles an hour. Pressure up slightly because it just traversed Cuba there. Notice the eye beginning to clear out again as it reemerges here over the Gulf of Mexico. Continuing to move towards the north now, but a bit slower at 10 miles an hour. Here's the path for it now. The plan still expecting to take it close to the Tampa area as a major hurricane. But then watch this now as we play it forward. A tropical storm there just south of Jacksonville. This cone continues to shift to the east with this center line passing somewhere closer to Augusta now. So that would mean the Hurricane Center is thinking the center of the storm would pass to our east, but still the impacts would be felt widespread across the area because the size of the storm as a major hurricane weakens down to a tropical storm. The wind field continues to expand. So that's what we'll be watching for. Also worth noting that they do keep a 40-mile-an-hour tropical storm here, which means the area of tropical storm force winds would be rather large. Hurricane warnings continue for parts of western Cuba where the hurricane is now, but also moving up into Florida from Tampa down to Fort Myers, and a hurricane warning there along the coast and for a county or two inland. Tropical storm warnings from the north corner of Florida on over towards Orlando, Melbourne, down to West Palm, and down into southwest Florida. Up towards the north, we have tropical storm watches, and this does include now two Georgia counties. This is going to be coastal Glenn County and coastal Camden County. So St. Simons, Brunswick, St. Mary's included in a tropical storm watch. Also a storm surge watch in effect for those areas, potentially 2 to 4 feet of storm surge. Let's take a look at the cone and how it stacks up to the model. So this is the new cone now. Notice in fairly good agreement, taking it really right up the I-4 corridor. Meteorologist Taylor Stephenson and I were talking about what if this thing gets over water. That does look like a possibility, and then turn back inland. Check this out. Both of the runs of the Euro here, this blue and the pink line there, both doing that and then turning it back into central Georgia. So an interesting trend there, something we hadn't seen in a few days. Now here's the timing of this on the GFS model. So this would be one of the two models we show you a lot of here on 13 WMAZ. Notice the rain beginning. This would be a later start. This would be Friday at 1 p.m. And there's 7 p.m. there, so rain in the eastern part of our area, dry in the western part. But then as we head into the overnight hours and into tomorrow, we all get in on the rain action. But I don't want you to lock into this scenario because this does show the center of the storm right over central Georgia, which is something the Hurricane Center is advertising against. But nonetheless, rain possible as we get into Sunday morning. This model is showing this is new, a new update, and then potentially on into Sunday afternoon and evening until it gets out of here. This is how it stacks up against the different members of the GFS. Notice it's getting into better agreement than it was. Still not great, but better in terms of saying somewhere between, say, South Carolina and the Alabama state line. That's the track of the center there. That's what you just saw on that last model where it showed you the rain. Now, this is the European model. This is going to be a bit faster. This is bringing in the rain Thursday at about 11 p.m. to our far southeastern counties, spreading over the area Friday morning. Notice the center right here following the National Hurricane Center track, so maybe something to buy into a bit more. Rain and wind Friday evening on into the overnight hours. There's Saturday evening, the rain beginning to get out of here as quickly as it can, but still hanging around. It looks like Sunday morning, moving out Sunday afternoon. These are the different ensembles of the European model. Notice this is actually in fairly good agreement with the National Hurricane Center cone. You can see that faintly right there, but still making that turn back towards central Georgia as we head into the day. Now let's talk about the probabilities. These are updated by the National Hurricane Center. What I want to point out to you is that these red shadings down here, this is when you get to 60–70%. That's indicating a high chance of tropical storm force winds, essentially. When I drill this down in here to central Georgia, you're going to see 20 to 40% as we get standardize this data. But what I want to point out is that this is several days in advance, so I would expect to see these numbers right now. It's not that I'm expecting 80 to 90% at this point in time. So looking at this, looking at these numbers, looking at where we are on the calendar, how far we are from this event, is something that is catching my eye. So what you need to know is that Ian is a major hurricane crossing into the Gulf of Mexico as we speak. It's moving off the Cuban coast. Recent model trends are sending the storm over the Florida peninsula. I think that is a likely outcome at this point. And rain and wind, still a high possibility Friday and probably a lot of the day Saturday as well here in central Georgia.